How does it feel?
Feels great. You know, I'm familiar with the city, which is an easier transition for me. It's not like I'm going halfway across the country and not knowing what's around. I'm really excited about this opportunity that the Pacers gave me and ready to get this season started.
Steve, you talk about ease of transition, and you're familiar with the city, with the building. You'll be familiar with a lot of the players. You're familiar with the Pacers system, and that'll be really great working, knowing exactly what you're supposed to do, because the key is developing players for the Pacers and ultimately for the NBA as well.
Yeah, it's I've been there the last 2 weeks with Coach Vogel and his staff, and talking offense, talking defense. They're trying to change their style of play down in Indy, and we are going to mirror everything that they're doing there here. So, when their players are assigned, it will be an easier transition for those guys to jump right in and play some significant minutes.
How does their style blend with your style? I know the Pacers want to really push the ball this year, and you've coached an awful lot of basketball, so obviously I'm sure Brian feels that you're a perfect fit for what the Pacers are trying to do.
And, 2 years ago when we won the championship, we played an up-tempo style. We played 4 guards and 1 big, and that's something that the Pacers want to do this year. So it was an easier transition. I mean, I knew what was expected. I've been in that situation before, and being able to sit there with Coach Vogel and go back and forth about certain ideas was great, because we won a championship doing that.
So you guys are coming off a couple of coming off a couple of great seasons. What do you think? Strengths, weaknesses? What do you expect to build on?
Well, they've been in the finals the past 2 years. I'd like to say that'd be a great goal, but my goal is to develop players, the Pacers and the Mad Ants, and then winning games also. So that's the main goal that I'm here for, and if we get to the finals, that'd even be better.
Are there any players that you're expecting to be standouts or contributors for this year?
I don't know yet. That's one thing Brian and I will discuss. He's been all over it, since he's gotten hired, and we know a couple names that maybe have interest, but the D-League season, there's still a lot of time left. A lot of things happen kind of last minute. We really won't know who's returning back yet until probably the draft, which is at Halloween. So just got to see who's out there, and obviously if you're a player, you want to know who the coach is going to be. So maybe in the next week we start discussing with some players and seeing if they're interested in coming back.
The Pacers will obviously send you some guys to get minutes in and to get more comfortable with the system. Will you work in concert with Brian to fill out the rest of the roster, maybe guys who've been here in the past? And will it be kind of a partnership in terms of draft and who else you put on this squad?
Yeah, Brian is down in Indianapolis also, and he's working with all their scouts. And everything that they've been discussing players, potential players that they want to see, and they want to see in their system, and that's going to be the system that we're going to run. So it's been an easy thing for them. With whoever players, like we'll have tryout players, we'll have returning players, we'll have draft players, and then we'll have affiliate players. So there's 4 different groups where we can kind of manage our team and our roster, but we just don't know who those guys are yet.
Have you thought about, this is pretty cool, your first big gig, and it's, with now an affiliated team, you're owned by the Pacers, and again, familiar surroundings. It seems like the perfect storm for you after all the work you've put in over the years. This is just a great opportunity, and for you to grow as a coach as well as these players to develop for the NBA.
Yeah, I got my first start here 5 years ago and learned a lot from Dwayne Tickner and Connor Henry. And then last year when I was with the Cavaliers organization under Jordi Fernandez, and really got to understand how a one-on-one relationship works and how you implement the NBA club's system to your D-League team system. And I'm very fortunate to be around all those people and learn from them.
And I just have a few quick. How long has this been in the works? When did they first contact you and this become a possibility? When did this all get started?
Probably, I want to say like 2.5 weeks ago. I've known Brian for the last 7 years. He's been in the D-League. I've obviously been in the D-League, and we've had a good relationship. Every time we've seen each other at certain events and everything, we'd always discuss and always maybe talked about working together. and you know, he called me. I obviously had interviews with him, Coach Vogel, Kevin Pritchard, and then a couple other assistants. You know, it was great because I got my first taste of an NBA club when I helped out with the Pacers a couple of years ago in Summer League in Orlando. So those guys were familiar with me. They understood how I worked with them, and you know, it obviously turned out the right way. So I'm really excited.
And I'm sorry about asking this again. I just missed it earlier. Can you just talk about the emotions of being back and how you currently feel about it?
I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this upcoming season. You know, with the Pacers being on board and you know, just being around those guys every day and learning from them. I'm really getting ready to you know, for our training camp that's going to be happening the beginning of November, and just want to start playing games and getting in the gym.